How much does your groceries cost now? Have you seen an increase, a decrease? This is a sign that your dollar is losing value, and we're going to get into that right now and what that means. Let's get it. It's your man's Wealth with Dale, aka Mr. Group Economics with the Good Travel Group. And today we're going to get into inflation. The US dollar has lost almost 11% in just the first half of the year. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean as a person looking to build, invest, and save for their future? What does the future look like? Will it continue losing value? How can you mitigate this and get ahead of the situation to live your best life? Many people have not been paying attention to what's happening with the dollar. Oftentimes we'll look, and I remember when Dollar Tree went up like to 125, people were like, damn, that sucker went up 25 cents. And that's the wrong way to look at it. It didn't just go up 25%. Your dollar lost 25% purchasing power. That's the same equivalent to you making $60,000 a year and your employer coming in and say, hey, things are tough. We're going to have to take you down to $45,000. Okay. It's the same scenario, but people don't view it in that way. So you'll get caught up and not realize that things are going in the wrong direction financially. And it's going to be very hard to get ahead to where you want to be, to how you want to live, right? These are things you got to really consider. And I see many of my brothers and ladies living and moving abroad that have figured it out, because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And they figured that, hey, over here, it just overall costs less to live, which then correlates into happiness and freedom. So it's a very important thing you need to consider and keep in mind when you are looking at your finances and how travel and living abroad and being an expat can potentially affect those things. Since 2020, the U.S. has printed about 80% of all money in circulation. I need you to understand how significant that is. Since 2020 to now, it's only 2025, 80% of the money in circulation was printed in that time frame. We're not talking about the 20s, 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, none of that. 90s, 2000. In 2020, so now 80% of the money is printed. That creates a very risky scenario, all right? Because you're printing money, and if you print money, it has no value. One funny thing is I had a female friend, and dudes always with the argument, they be like, white girls think they all this, they all that. They got to get something out of the deal. When it comes to the bedroom, and the guys are like, yeah, you getting this and I'm getting that, so we even. And she was like, nah, it's not even, because it's too easy to get banana, right? There's no value to it because it's so easily and readily available. So women don't value banana because you guys give it away. You can get it any day from anyone. And that's essentially what the money, right? The money, if they just printed it up, they printed up so much money that it lost its value. So that's how that correlates. Hopefully for layman terms, that makes sense a little bit, right? But this is causing an issue. And it makes me think what happens in the future. If you guys really pay attention, and being that I live abroad, I see it when I go back, and maybe it makes it a little bit more evident. And I'm like, man, y'all don't see this? Right? You look at like potato chips and you got what we call shrinkflation. So I'm like, man, the bag of chips is $2.80 and it has only 50% of what the size of the bag. So the prices went up 250%, but yet the product has also decreased another 40-50%. This is hyperinflation, but you aren't paying attention to it, right? They're very slick about it, especially with cartons. Take a look at what you would consider a half a gallon or even a gallon and see if it's truly a gallon when it comes to fluid ounces. It's probably not. It's probably not. Usually when I look at the orange juice that should be 64 ounces, it's 59. And then I've even seen them go to 52. You're losing a great deal of your product. The price went up a little bit and the quantity went down a little bit. And this creates this shrinkflation scenario. So you're like, dang, the price went up. 15%. No, it didn't. You also lost another 10% in product. So the price could be up 20%, 25, 30%. This is a direct hit to your paycheck, what you can afford, what you can buy. I've often discussed how living abroad can be a strategy to pay down debt. It's time to really start making smart moves. It's time to look at cash flow and capital and income. Most people can rarely get out of like credit card debt and things like that because you have a steady life and a steady income, and that debt just right there. Now, you've already seen it. If you make the minimum payments, it's going to take a very long time to pay that off. And a lot of people are stuck in that position. So it's time to really look at your money, how much revenue you're making, how much you're actually keeping. And sometimes you may see that, hey, if I made $50,000 overseas versus making $80,000 where I'm at, I could actually get ahead quicker. You have to do the math. You have to run with the numbers, because if you can decrease your rent from $2,000 to $300, $400 a month, that leaves $1,700 a month additional to pay down debt, to pay down bills, to pay down student loans. All these type of things you have to consider in your strategy. And moving abroad, it's not a end all be all, right? It's people act as if once you go and you live overseas, that's it. There's no returning. And it's just not true. You might create a plan to just go overseas for 3 years to pay off all your debt, or you go overseas for 3 years to build up a healthy savings account. There's a lot of ways that you can manage living abroad and use it to your benefit. And you can also enjoy it, right? A different culture, a different place. It helps the mind grow, helps the mind expand. But you really want to look at the scenarios. You really want to look at the scenarios and see, does it work for you financially? And if you continue down the path you're going now with the cost of living, where does it put you in 5 to 10 years? Right? If you can't seem to get ahead, you can't seem to save. And additionally, there's many tax strategies. Often if you're making your money online and you're living abroad, you can leverage some tax plays that will help you even get more money that really has to be considered. This is known as the foreign income exclusion, foreign earned income exclusion. And we'll get into that in another video, but it's deep. But you may want to consider that to figure out how do you pay off your debts, right? How can you get a little further ahead? So when considering living abroad, there's many, many facets. And you guys know I'm a finance guy. I like numbers. I like money. You can look into that because you can really leverage it. When I look at home, the expenses are what's destroying people. I even still have expenses in the US, and they're just so high. It makes it very challenging to get ahead, to really build. So really consider abroad in the financial aspect. Yeah, you're going to get great cultural pieces to it, right? You're going to get a great learning piece to it. Your mind's going to expand. But financially, it is a hack that not many people talk about. People often talk about the low cost of living, but they don't talk about how you can use it to build wealth by decreasing expenses, right? So the main challenge that people have is you got to be able to figure out how to make money online. Oftentimes in countries where things are very inexpensive, there aren't any jobs that pay really well. But if you figure out how to make a decent income online, you figure out how to leverage some of the tax advantages, building wealth by living abroad is a hack that we're going to talk a lot about, man. So I appreciate you watching. It's your Man's Wealth with Dale. Tap in with the Good Journey group. We got a new group coming. We're going to be traveling the world and we're doing some philanthropy. So stay tuned and locked in for that, man. Appreciate you watching. It's real simple for me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we'll keep this content coming. Let's get it.